Hello and welcome to Pillar 3. So, our Pillar 3 is our essential life skills, right? These are the adulting things, the stuff that your kiddo needs to know in order to be successful when they leave high school, right? When they graduate, they leave home, they go off to the workforce, they go off to the military, they go off to college, go off to a training program, wherever it ends up being a gap year program. Whatever that looks like for them, these are the things that they truly need to know and understand. So, when we talk about our pillars, that we talked about previously, right? Our second pillar is those essential life skills because that is the next thing, right? You have to have those pieces in place. So, let me show you what our pillars are for our life skills. So, when we look at essential life skills, there are four pillars, right? If you want your teenager prepared, ready to go for life after high school, these are the four pillars they have to have really solid, ready to go, right? Communication skills, practical life skills, social and emotional skills, and critical thinking skills. So let's break that down a little bit further because again, this is those pieces that you have to have. So in our very first pillar, there are four different blocks. Number one, the styles of communication. Your student needs to know how do they communicate and how do others communicate? And then how do they overlap those, right? How do I communicate with somebody different than me? How do I do these things? Next is relationships, right? This is a huge piece of communication. This can be relationships with their parents, right? With you. This could be relationships with other family members, their siblings. It could be with their significant other, with their friends, with their relatives, with their coworkers, right? Their classmates, their group mates, whatever it ends up being, relationships is crucial when it comes to communication and understanding healthy relationships and how to do those things. Next is conflict resolution. This is a huge one, right? Understanding how to manage conflict. If you get into conflict, what do I do? How do I prevent conflict? How do I de escalate conflict? All these different things of understanding that. And then our last one in communication is speaking. Now, it doesn't mean every student's going to be a speaker or do presentations, but the reality is they need to know how to speak and present themselves. Because think about it, right? Whether they're doing a job interview, a college interview, a scholarship interview, or maybe they're pitching something at their job or to a high level executive, or they want to own their own business, does not matter. They need to know how to talk and communicate and speak to people. This is a big skill. So public speaking can be part of this, but there's a lot more to this as well. So that is our pillar one. Pillar two is those practical life skills. These are those things that those are more hands-on, the stuff that is just that practical reality, real world kind of stuff. So health and wellness. There's a lot of things that get packed into health and wellness. Mental health, nutrition, cooking, all the different things. Financial literacy. I know this is a huge block. There are so many things packed into financial literacy that students and teenagers need to know, right? Independent living. How do I take care of myself? How do I find my first apartment? How do I move out? How do I pick a roommate? All these different things, right? How do I cook? How do I clean? How do I fix my car? All these aspects of independence, right? When you are no longer living under your mom and dad's roof, what do I need to know to be successful? And then the last one is digital wellness. For us, we believe this is definitely a core block within those essential life skills because of the risk that is outlined, whether it's from cybercrime or bullying or human trafficking, any of the things that are going on in the digital world. It's really important for our students to understand digital well-being and even down to the how do I do proper research? Is this a valid source or not, right? Those digital wellness tools. Our third pillar is social and emotional skills. Emotional intelligence is the top, right? Emotional intelligence, being able to manage your emotions, manage your reactions to things, all these areas, understanding how to problem solve, right? How do I solve problems when everything is right at my fingertips? What is when things are not at my fingertips? How do I do this? Having empathy. And this is a hard skill to teach to somebody who does not have this, right? But it is something you can learn. Doesn't mean it's always going to come natural. And it doesn't mean that it's always going to be always effective, but it is a skill and one of those social emotional skills that students need to understand and work on if that's not one of their core skills. And then the last one's collaboration, teamwork, right? How to work with other people, especially in the homeschool world, right? Yeah, they have co-ops and we do group stuff and we get them involved, but it's still different. They don't have as many group projects as public school students. They're not given as many opportunities sometimes to work as a team. and work with other people, especially people from outside their household or their friend circle, right? So being able to learn how to collaborate and work with others is crucial. And our last pillar, those critical thinking skills, understanding how to do research, how to do it effectively, how to evaluate evidence, how to evaluate the research that you did, how to look into stuff critically, how to do critical analysis on stuff. So this is not just evaluating, this is now an analyzing, right? Understanding how to do that, and then how to make decisions. There are multiple facets and different ways to decision making based on people's personalities, right? Some work better for others. Some people are great at making decisions, some are terrible at making decisions. But this is a critical thinking skill that every teenager needs to know how to do to be successful in the real world. So these are our 4 adulting pillars. These are, in our opinion, from working with students and teens for years and years and years, these are the foundational things that students really need to know. And there's a lot of skills that kind of get lumped up into a lot of these, right? Like resilience and, work ethic and all these things get really pushed up into a lot of these areas. But these are the core pillars. We believe if you get these right with your teenager, they're going to be successful.